Welcome to Business Spotlight. I am Rob Andrew, and today I'm delighted to be joined by Nicola Grobety and Sally Williams from Longwood Business Support. Hi, both.
Hi, Rob.
Hello,
Nice
Rob.
to see you.
Good morning. Okay, well, maybe Nicola, best place to start would be, please tell us about yourself and about your business.
Yep. So I'm an accountant with a long accounting background, working within businesses rather than sort of auditing side of things. And I qualified 3 years ago now and wanted to set up my own practice. So I created Longwood Business Support. We didn't want it to just be accountancy. We felt there was more to offer than just accountancy. So Sally and I came together to offer HR as well as accountancy as well. As a sort of rounded business offering.
Excellent. And so, Sally, you head up the HR side, is that correct?
Yeah, HR and recruitment side. I help business owners with that part of it. Yeah.
And your background before joining up with Nicola?
Yeah, so I worked in aviation for goodness about 30 odd years. So unfortunately lost my job during COVID. And Nicola presented me with the perfect opportunity to come and work for a new business, helping other people with their businesses, which has just been a dream, I have to say.
Superb. And Nicola, you said 3.5 years ago you started, is that correct?
Yeah, so we actually started around September 2020. So yeah, right in the middle of lockdown, decided to start up a business, which wasn't actually that uncommon, really. A lot of people decided that they were going to set up small businesses around that time because it was they either were faced with redundancy or just a change in their working environment. So actually, sounds crazy when you say we started in lockdown, but there are a lot of businesses that did that, I think. So
that's true. That's true. More than one would think, and just goes to show there's a lot of brave people out there. So,
yeah, definitely.
Well done. So tell me a little bit about the last 3.5 years. What's that business journey been like for you?
So prior to setting up the business, I'd always supported other businesses as well. So as well as having like accounting sort of background, I've also supported small businesses, so back office support, I would call it. So it's a bit of marketing, bit of IT, bit of accountancy, bit of HR, bit of everything, which is what small business is all about, really. I think you need to be a bit of everything. And so we came together and we sort of narrowed that down to have accountancy and HR as what we would offer because they are our specialisms. That's what we're qualified in, and we felt that there was a way to bring that maybe large background that we've got to small business to bring best practice to small businesses. So it doesn't have to be daunting or scary. It was accountancy sounds scary, and sometimes dealing with people is a bit scary, but we felt like we are very much people. So we wanted to develop an offering that was relatable for small businesses, and that's what we've tried to do.
That's excellent, and it sets you apart from the competitors as well, I would imagine. I mean, is there anyone else out there in the region that offers similar to you?
No, it's very much one or the other. So yeah, it is slightly different. It comes with, like everything comes with its challenges of trying to market something that's got two very different like specialisms.
Yeah.
But at the same time, for our clients, I think it's great because they are able to tap into Sally or I, and we sort of share our knowledge of the client between us. So it means if Sally goes into a situation with an employer who's got an issue, I might already have some context behind that and be able to support that. So I think it's quite advantageous for our customers.
Oh, excellent, and great idea, as you say, a one-stop shop.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sally, since joining up with Nicola, what would you say has been your biggest learning about running your own business?
Very good question. I think it's not to take things to heart if things don't quite go the way you've expected. So if you've we've had clients, for example, and I think our aspiration, as Nicola previously said, was to have that joint offering to small business owners who haven't got an HR recruitment department or accountancy department. And I think initially the aspiration was to have that joint approach, and actually it's kind of gone in two different directions. So, that's one learning, definitely, that we can't always be together and have that offering. I'm doing HR and recruitment for some clients, Nick's doing, accountancy and bookkeeping for other clients. So I think that's the first thing. Things do change direction, but I think also if you have a potential client, you really get to know them, have lovely, positive conversations with them, and then you hear nothing for a long time. I think it's okay, and actually sometimes they do come back to you. So it's about not taking things personally, and it's about not being too pushy as well. So that's definitely some of the learnings. But I think another learning for me from the HR side of things is that a lot of business leaders are very wary of having courageous conversations with their employees. So quite often they'll come to me for guidance or support when things have gone quite a long way down the line where they haven't had those courageous conversations, and I kind of have to pick up the pieces, but also tell them the bad news is that they can't actually terminate somebody straight away if they've not had those difficult chats with them. So yeah, there's a lot of learnings that I've had definitely from the past 3 years, but very positive ones. I would say you have to take them as a positive, and it builds your resilience.
Excellent. So yeah, being thick-skinned basically.
Yeah, we try, but we're very kind as well.
I'm sure you both are. Okay, just one question then. In terms of the offering that you have, so accountancy support and HR support, what proportion of your clients take both?
Yeah, it is quite a small proportion, really, actually, isn't it? I would say we're trying to build on that. I think I'd say it's probably only about 10% really at the moment. It's pretty low. But again, we're in it for the long haul, and I'm looking for organic growth for us, so that we provide real in-depth sort of business partner relationships with our clients. So you'll find that sometimes it could be a year before someone will come back and say, oh, I've been dealing with you on the account side, actually I've got a people problem now, that I could really do with some help on. So that's where it's a long relationship, long-term relationship that we're building with our clients. So yeah, we're hoping that number will increase over the years.
I'm sure it will. A bit of nurturing. I've got to ask this question, are you competitive with each other?
No,
actually not.
Well, no, that's probably no. I don't think we don't really have those bones in our bodies. No,
really not. No, definitely.
We do need to. Yeah, no, we're not at all, are we? No.
Okay, and this one's really for you, Nicola, I think. If there was one thing that you would do differently, or if there's anything you would do differently if you had your time again, what would it be?
I have a huge list of things that I've learned over the last 3 years. I think, and it's really interesting actually, using a business coach I think is really important. It's something I've invested in myself over the last 6 months, and it's made a massive difference to me. I think I wished I'd have done that sooner in my journey. And it's just not being frightened of being yourself in business. You don't have to have a business persona as such. You can be yourself and not be scared of that. It's enough to just be yourself and bring yourself to the table, something different, something genuine and authentic. And I think things like LinkedIn for me are great, but I think there's a danger that we do with LinkedIn, like we've done with social media, in that it becomes something we beat ourselves up with and say, well, I'm not applying for enough awards, I'm not going to enough events, I'm not doing public speaking. You can easily put yourself down by comparing yourself to other businesses. And I think for me, I finally feel like I don't do that as much now, but it takes time to get to that point, I think. So yeah, be yourself in business is what I say.
That's an interesting one, Nicola. I mean, thank you for that honesty. That's an interesting perspective. So thank you for that. This one I think's got to be for you, Sally. How do you foster? I mean, how many employees do you have in the team right now?
There's 5 of us all together. Yeah.
5. Okay. How do you foster a positive and productive environment for everyone?
No pressure, Sam.
We've got values. We have values within our business, which are honest, down to earth, positive, and flexible. So we feel that we demonstrate those every day. So for me, I make sure that I demonstrate those to our colleagues. But fostering that we work pretty remotely as well. And you know, Nick is amazing. We have the most amazing flexible working as well. So I think that really helps everybody, because everybody's got different lives and different responsibilities. One of our employees actually works up in Scotland, so that is pretty remote, right? In fact, it is quite remote where she is. So it's just about making sure that we all speak to each other, we keep in touch with each other, we support each other. And make sure, you know, even if my specialism isn't accountancy, I might check in with, you know, one of my colleagues who's also an accountant. So there are crossovers as well. So it's just about sort of keeping the communication going, living our values, and ensuring that there's great teamwork, which I believe there is.
And I've got to go a bit deeper on this one as well, Sally. So in terms of then when you're recruiting members for the team, really interesting what you said about values, etc.
Yeah.
Obviously, what you both do, you know, it's highly skilled. You know, there's significant qualifications required.
Yeah.
What do you look for when you're speaking to a potential employee?
Well, obviously the values. You know, we look for that positivity. We look for the honesty as well, and you know, the flexibility as well. But it's interesting you say that, because I think it's really important to be able to say no to somebody if they're not quite the right fit. And I think, early, I think so we've had a couple of you know, instances where we have gone to recruit for a particular role, and we've got, I think sometimes it's the halo and trident effect. You have that initial, you know, excited reaction, oh, this person's got all of this experience, they're going to be amazing, and initially, you know, we get quite positive, excited about it. But I think it's about seeing those red flags, drilling down and not making do. And that's what we do. We have those conversations. We can have some really good conversations. And actually, you know, I might be bad cop, Nick might be good cop, or vice versa. You know, I might challenge Nick on a decision about somebody, or again, Nick might say, well, why would you say that? But it's about making sure that that person is the right fit for the business, recognizing those red flags or those negative indicators. When you're screening, you know, when you're talking to somebody. But you know what, I really believe as well, when you're recruiting somebody, is that they have a really good insight into what the role in the business is as well, because it's just as important for it to be right for them as it is for them to be right for us. So that's always, excuse me, that's what we've evolved on during our journey. And I will be honest, Rob, you know, we've made a couple of hires which perhaps haven't been the right ones for us. So again, we've learned through that, and perhaps we have compromised, and we've had to have those difficult conversations with people, you know, to say perhaps it's not working out. So it's about being really honest. I think honesty is definitely one of our big sort of missions, values, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, that's really clear. It is. So basically what I took from that, Sally, was you don't rush the process.
No. But equally, we don't keep people hanging on, because I think as well, candidate experience is everything. So it's about being right for them and then being right for us.
We do actually involve the rest of the team as well.
Yeah,
we do have. True. We even had meeting up for coffees with certain people just to see if it is the right fit, because it's really hard in an interview. You know, it's like having an exam. You may not perform very well in an exam, so you might not perform very well in an interview because you're nervous, and we totally understand that. So you want to see the real person behind the person that appears on the screen, or you know, in front of you. So we do, I think we take quite a long time, don't we, to make that decision, because we're a small team. It's important that we all feel that's the same.
No, of course. And Sally, just on one point actually on what you said then, so you said it's important that the potential candidate understands what the role is. So are you saying you ask them to articulate what they think the role will involve? Is that what you're saying?
I always do that anyway as a recruiter. I'll always ask them what their understanding of the business and the role is. But actually, I flip it round, because we need to tell them what a typical day looks like. It could be that they could be working remotely and we might be out at clients or whatever, and they may not hear from us. So it's about really setting the scene, making sure that they 100% understand what the role is like, but also a day in the life of. And then it's difficult to say that, because every day is very different, which is still fantastic for us. But yeah, it's about keeping it real.
Yeah. No, excellent. That's really useful to hear. Looking forward, Nicola, for the business, if looking forward 5 years or so,
yeah,
what do you see as the biggest challenges that are likely to confront you?
it's an odd one to say. Is growth, because it's good. Well, so with every opportunity comes a threat, doesn't it? So growing for me is really important to do it in the right way. Our customers do come first, and if we're promising something to our customers, we have to deliver that. So I wouldn't like to grow at the expense of existing customers. Okay. So that's really, really important to me. So it's growing at the right pace. So it's actually really hard to work out a marketing strategy for that, because you want to grow, but you want to grow at the right rate. So luckily having Sally here who can help with resourcing, because with growth comes a resourcing plan. So it's that whole picture. So I think growing is something that would be challenging.
And at the moment, if you don't mind me asking this one, then how are you managing that? How are you controlling then that rate of growth?
So I am so lucky to be surrounded. In my career, I've met some really, really good people, and they sometimes come and work for me on a part-time basis to start with, and then they will build up to a full-time role or a flexible remote working role. And yeah, I've gone against the grain with the rules of don't work with friends and family, because pretty much everyone is a close friend but of family member. But they've also people that I've met throughout my career in accountancy firms who would like to come and join us. So eventually everyone comes into the family. Yeah, so that's how I do it. And with sales help, I think as we grow, we definitely need to look a more structured resourcing plan as well.
So pull in support and advice from across your network is basically
definitely networking is so important. Yeah,
absolutely.
Nicola, what's been the most influential book that you or podcast you've listened to recently?
I am horrendous for starting and stopping things. So at the moment, I'm reading Atomic Habits. I don't know if you've seen that.
Yeah.
Because I think I'm quite a big, I am a bit of a believer now in small things making a big difference. Not trying to go for massive wholesale changes too soon and overwhelming yourself. So that's a good one. Stephen Bartlett, I have listened to his book a little bit. General, I think coaches as well. So it's not always famous podcasts, so it's real life experience really that I listen to a lot.
That's great. And Sally, can I ask you the same question?
Oh, goodness me. So I haven't really read any books recently, I'm not going to lie to you. Well, apart from fiction, so that's not great. But Stephen Bartlett, I love to listen to his podcasts and watch his videos as well.
Diary of a CEO.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. And as well as that, so I'm also licensed in something called Springboard, which is personal growth and development for women. So quite often I'll go back to my Springboard manual and just have a read on things like limiting beliefs and assertiveness and stuff like that. So that's always really useful to me as well. So yeah.
Excellent. Nicola, what if you had to give one piece of advice to somebody who's just entering into business today, what would you say to them?
I would say network and get out and meet people, meet other business owners, meet as many people as possible. Yeah. There's so much that others can give you and help you with and support you. So yeah, do that first. You learn about yourself, you learn about other businesses, and you learn about industries. So yeah, I think that's what I would say to start with.
To get out there, get known.
Yeah, get connecting. Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay. Any news or announcements that you would like to share regarding Longwood that's coming up?
A particular area I'm looking at is e-commerce for small businesses and how it feeds into accounting. Because you can set up a company really quickly. You can set up a website yourself, which a lot of people do now because it's small, it's cost effective. You can set up selling platforms, but what that chucks out in terms of accountancy is a massive, I call it a plate of spaghetti at the moment. It's just a mess. So we're experts at unpicking the spaghetti, and that's something I'd like to focus on as we go forward, because it helps small businesses that have started out. So that's an area I want to grow in my business.
Excellent. So watch this space.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, and for both of you, how best to connect with you, to reach out to you?
LinkedIn's probably a really good place to. We're quite active on LinkedIn.
We have a website
and
as
our
well.
Website.
So people can contact us on the website. And another plug is that we've got, some fantastic HR policies for small businesses if they need them, which are kind of off the shelf that they can tweak at great prices. So
excellent.
Shameless plug.
Good plug.
Yes. Thank you for that, and thank you to both of you as well for your time this morning and for your openness and sharing. I really appreciate it, and I wish you all the success in the future.
Brilliant. Thank you, Rob.
Thank you, Rob.